Greetings of peace and love, everybody. My name is IMHOTEP, coming back at you with another episode. In this particular episode, I want to do a brief segment, just talking about a particular tribe that's located in the center of the earth. And this particular tribe is actually another group of immortals, and it's an ET tribe that looks very much humanoid. And this particular tribe is called the Danakiel. Now, the Danakiel have remnants of this tribe, physical remnants or beings that live on the surface, and they live in the Horn in Africa, the Danakiel tribe, which is like in the Ethiopia area. But and within that area, there is a way to where you can go into and enter a portal and go into the center of the earth. You can contact the Danakiel tribe that basically vacated the surface of the planet and moved into the center of the earth. Now, it's important to understand this because the Danakiel tribe did this before the Mayans. You see, a lot of people talk about the Mayans and the Mayans disappearing and how they were able to move their civilization and take it and disappear, and how Mayan means illusion. This is true. And this is a knowledge and a science that is actually going back into magic on when you get to a certain level, or basically when you reach immortal status, you can disappear and basically disappear into the center of the earth. And the Danakiel tribe was that particular tribe. They were a roaming tribe, a nomadic tribe. And their base, or where they live at, is in the center of the earth, but they have basically remnants of their seed all over the planet. Like I said, there's it's a tribe in Ethiopia, like in Central Africa right now, or whatever, that names themselves after the Danakiel, but that's not the original Danakiels. The original Danakiels are more what you would call ETs, and they came to this planet. They're higher elders, and they came to this planet after the reptilians. And basically, when they landed here, like I said, they landed here on the surface, and then they eventually moved totally into the center of the earth. The reptilians, you have to understand, they live in like caverns. Like there's 8 different caverns or whatever. And most of the reptilians live in the oceans and in different caverns within the earth. Now, the Danakiel, they live in the center of the earth. There's a sun in the center of the earth. And the Danakiel, they've like reached past, they pretty much have the cure for death. So they have no need for a body. I know this sounds crazy. The cure for death. You're crazy, IMHOTEP. You're just out of your mind. Like, that's why I can't listen to this stuff. The cure for death. There's no cure for death. Everybody has to die. Well, in metaphysics, we teach, there is no death, but certain beings have the cure for death, because death is just a disease. It's basically aging or decaying. That's what death is. Even like the way we look right now, humanity in general is in a state of death. It's in a state of death. Everybody, like even people that are melanated, like to talk about, I'm being black and I'm proud and all of that type of stuff, and that's cool. I mean, I'm black and I'm proud too. But what about when we were green? See, that's what people don't realize. It was a time when we were green, and what's happening is that we became this color because of rusting. And I know you've heard people teach this, but this was taught in the mystery schools long before. We were the same color as those plants and the chlorophyll. We were green. That's why Asaru in Egypt was green, you see, because we were green at one time, and we began to decay and rust, and we became this color. And this is because a sign of humanity dying or falling. See, we've been falling for a minute. The fact that we are in physical shows that we fell. So no, there is no death. And certain beings, they knew that, and once they graduated, they got initiated into certain astral realms, and they graduated, they were able to move their civilizations and disappear and move their civilizations into the center of the earth. Now, there's different levels when you start talking about going into the center of the earth. There's different degrees and initiations. Now, the Danakiel are the chiefs of the center of the earth, the center of civilization. So when you hear me talk about if there was ever an ET holocaust on this planet, they would have to go and contact the council in the center of the earth. Well, the Danakiel, they are the chiefs of that council. Now, you have other beings that sit on that council, but the Danakiel are the judges. They make the ultimate decisions. So they sit as the judges. The other tribes talk about things, and the Danakiel pretty much make the final decision because they've advanced. It's like chess. See, this planet, if people don't fail to realize, this planet is like chess. Humanity, where we're at right now, is just on the state of pawns. When you start talking about the Danakiel, they're on the state of kings. They're on the level of kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? As far as the moves and, and their role and their position on this planet. So there's different types of beings with different agreements playing different positions on this planet. And it's really just all about your situation. But back to the Danakiel, the Danakiel, they are the chiefs. They are the council. They pretty much rule the center of the earth. You heard me talk about there's a sun in that center of the earth, and they don't have a body, so they're able to exist in that state Some people call them the lava beings, and they're able to exist in that state. And if you want to see them as in another physical state, they'll appear to you in a physical state. If you want to see them as an albino, they'll appear as an albino. If you want to see them as a melanated being, they'll appear as a melanated being. However you want them to appear, this is how they appear. But they're called the Danakiel, and this is the real group that Adolf Hitler was trying to contact. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff about Adolf Hitler and the center of the earth. So I'm not going to talk about it here, but I'm actually working on, actually, believe it or not, I'm actually working on a film dealing with that or whatever. So, but I mean, this is just a one-on-one video to really introduce you to the Danakiel. But these were the beings when they said Adolf Hitler wanted to communicate to get a higher energy, because, you know what I'm saying, he knew he wanted to basically be able to go out and power his vehicles from the electromagnetic grid, and he was trying to tap into these higher beings. That's who he really was trying to contact. But what happened was that he contacted, when he was sending his messages out, or when they, you know what I'm saying, when the Third Reich was sending their messages out to the center of the earth, they accidentally contacted the wrong beings or whatever, and the wrong beings intercepted that communication, and they got in contact with those particular beings that helped them form the Vril Society, which I've talked about before. But really, in actuality, Adolf Hitler knew about the Danakiel because they studied about the Danakiel in the Theosophical Society, and they still do to this day. And that was the beings that they wanted to get in contact with, but he didn't have enough chi to go that far, and his message was intercepted. So when you start talking about the center of the earth, it gets deep. There's portals in the center of the earth that go to all the different parts of the multiverse. Actually, the earth is a very key planet. It's a medical library here on this side of the planet Earth, and I talked about this in another video I did about the Japanese empress who talked about extraterrestrials. You can look at my channel and check that out. But it's a medical library that's the largest medical library on this side of the universe. So a lot of beings stop here and get information from the medical libraries. And people think I'm lying and making this stuff up. You guys just don't know. When I used to live by the CDC, I used to see the UFOs coming in and out the CDC all the time or whatever. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, like as far as beings coming in and out of this planet. How do you think the CDC came up with all these diseases? Beings gave them to them. I mean, all this stuff, like people think that this stuff is new. This stuff is concocted by beings that exist on different levels in the center of the earth. But the Danakiel, they're the chiefs. They're the chiefs. So they deal on a high spiritual level. They're here to help. They're here to help humanity. They're not an immortal group or a group that's living in the center that's trying to like supplant us. They're not with the Orion group. You have members of the Orion group that live in the center of the earth, but they're not with them. And my point I was making about the center is that there's interest ways to get to different planets from the center of the earth. You have the largest medical library in the center of the earth, but then there's also, once the crafts come in and go to the medical libraries, they can leave out of portals and then go to Neptune or go to, I mean, and I go into that in my astrological course when I get into esoteric astrology. But you can go through different portals or whatever to go to different planets or whatever. All of this is located within the center of the earth. So the earth is essentially like a mecca in and of itself, and a gateway to lead to wherever you want to go. It's a dimensional portal in and of itself. So people don't realize when you travel the universe, we're linear. And we think about like going out, and we see Sirius like way out there, how many miles it is. And these beings, they know that the universe is connected by lines and grids and stuff like that. And different portals open at different times. And they follow lines and grids to different constellations. So they can travel in no time, outside of time, and come in at they can come in different parts of our history to manipulate that. So now when you start talking about that, that's protected by the Danakiel. So the Danakiel protects those portals and gateways, so beings won't abuse that. Because people are like, well, then we ain't gonna never be able to get out of this, because the mortals are just gonna keep manipulating us and going into the future and messing us up, and we can't move faster than them. IMHOTEP, so you're saying we have no solution. You do have a solution. The Danakiel are definitely, see, it's only certain things. It's basically like this, beloveds. It's just like in the Bible when God would always give Satan the opportunity to tempt his chosen. He always knew that basically if the servant was strong enough, they were going to endure Satan no matter what. Like, they were going to win no matter what. It was just, could they mentally discipline themselves to see past the temptation that they were getting and not fall victim and succumb to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with this. It's the same thing with this. The Danakiel are here to help as guards, but we still have free will. So if we allow the reptilians to keep ruling over us, they're going to still keep a certain level of control. But what I'm saying is that there's certain beings like the Danakiel that will make sure that it doesn't get out of hand to where everybody is wiped out. All humans are wiped out. That'll never happen. It'll always be a handful of humans saved. Might not be everybody, but it'll always be a handful saved. So just want to bring balance to that and to kind of point that out. So the Danakiel are a very important group. You don't hear a lot about them because, again, a lot of people don't really decode the they don't get into like a lot of the African mysteries and a lot of mortal groups in Ethiopia and stuff like that. Most people are focused on what's going on over here in America and, you know, South America and all that type of stuff, but we leave out a lot of these groups that have deep information on astro travel and all of this type of stuff, but we just don't get into it because a lot of it's hard to find because most authors can't read their languages, and a lot of it is just, I mean, you know, you just gotta really dig, man. But if you're looking for something, you'll find it. So I thank you for watching my channel. That's my brief display on the Danakiel. So hope you learned something. I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching, and until we meet again, I'll leave you all in peace.